I was in a coma for 7 days. I was in the kitchen. I was kneeling down. Boom. And all the windows exploded. I got tossed into the living room. It was about 5 feet. I got up and I was on fire. Every other area of me was like red or it was just peeling off. Adrenaline's like pumping. Helicopters over. It was crazy. And all the smoke was like getting like close to their head. I was like, ugh, like enough is enough. I just got to surrender. I got to give up. I can't fight this anymore.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors, where millionaires are made. Today we have Brandon Elliott with Credit Counsel Elite and Brandon Flynn from San Diego to talk about how he buys real estate using credit cards. Now, guys, I'm on a mission to create 100 millionaires. The information on the show alone is enough to help you become a millionaire in the next 5 to 7 years. If you'll take consistent action, you'll become one. And guys, if you're already a millionaire, we want to recognize you here. So please scan this QR code to let us know. And also, if you want help become a millionaire even faster, you can also scan that same QR code. And before we jump in, if you're here to learn how entrepreneurs are building real empires, hit that subscribe button, because every week we're dropping lessons that can help you create your first or your next million. And guys, our AI Lead Manager is now up and running. So if you want to hear what our AI Lead Manager sounds like, text AI caller to the phone number 33777. That's AI space caller. Ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Excited.
So yeah, I'm excited to have you on as well. You know, we were trying to figure this out. There were a lot of logistical challenges, and even it was even hard for you to get here from San Diego, which it shouldn't.
Which is close enough, so it shouldn't have been. But yeah, I'm here, baby. So I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Of course. So let's go ahead and talk about it. What was your life like before you got into real estate?
I grew up, I always say American poor, because when you get to travel the world, you start seeing what other countries poor look like.
Yes.
Completely different. So very blessed, but grew up on Section 8, food stamps, local help from schools and churches, right? And so my mom, a single parent mother, raised 3 misfits, right? And I'm the middle child. I was the only boy in the house. And so at a very young age, because I was being told like, hey, you're the man of the house, you know, you gotta.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
My mom, yes.
Right. And so my mom was diagnosed of being manic depressive bipolar at a young age from just some childhood trauma that just never got over, and it turned into just a little bit more chaos in the house and drugs being in the house and other things like that at a young age. So I met my father when I was 18 years old in court, so he could stop paying child support.
Oh.
And so never really had that male guidance or father figure or any of those things that as you get older, you're like, oh, maybe you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
But you start realizing over time, like, hey, that could have helped.
Yeah.
Right. It could have hurt too if I had the wrong. Right. So very blessed. But I feel like at that young age, I was as any typical kid that, you know, when you're growing up, you keep begging your parents for something. Like, I want a dirt bike, I want a quad. That's what I kept on asking my mom for, because other people in the area had those types of things. I realized one day after begging her so many times that that pain on her face of like, I can't get you these things.
Oh.
You know, like I'm not going to be able to supply that. So overall, I realized if it was up to me to actually make this happen, it just had to be in one of those situations, right?
Right.
So yeah, I just started trying to get out there and try to figure out how to get a job. At 9 was my first time trying to get a job.
So when she told you like, hey, look, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
You were like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you could just see like the pain on her face, right? I started at a young age just getting good at reading body language. And it's like, this isn't going to happen. So I gotta stop begging her for it. It's not in her possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder, it's hard to say, and how much emotional awareness you actually had like at that age. Cause like, at what point do you realize like, okay, this is not going to be, you know, is it 8 or 9? Is it 13?
Yeah.
But yeah, you figured that out at a very, very early age.
Yeah.
And so you look for work at 9 years old?
Yeah. Crazy stuff, right? So I was doing some yard work in the neighborhood, cutting grass, pulling weeds, like random stuff like that, right? And then eventually I started going to golf courses in the area because there were several like close by.
At 9 years old?
Yeah, and so I was begging them to, and I was trying to sell it. It was a good young kid. It's kind of funny to think back now, but I was positioning it as a proposition that like, hey, I'll run around, I'll collect all the balls, and I'll put on like some hockey gear, and people can aim at me. Like it'll be awesome. They're gonna love it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Happy Gilmore times thinking of it, you know?
Right.
And they were kind of just laughing back at me saying like, you need to be 18 and have a driver's license to drive the cart and collect the balls. So anyway, gave up on those things.
You were denied.
I was denied.
Oh, man.
I was denied.
You were rejected.
I was rejected.
Okay.
For the first time, right? Well, many times by my mom, but first time by outsiders.
Yeah.
So I finally got my first job, legit job at age 12 from at our church. There was this amazing woman that had a business, a seafood restaurant in the family. And she basically brought me in as if I was family, because you still had to be 18 to work there. And so I was working under the table in the back, and it was awesome. You know, like I was actually getting paid and making money, and I wasn't used to spending money. So I just kept on stacking up money.
What were you doing?
At the restaurant?
Yeah.
I was, it was like parfait bar. It was like desserts and coffee.
Okay.
And then eventually I did like the dish machine. It was a huge restaurant that there was just a ton of glasses. There was like 3 bars there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just the glass machine and another scrubbing dishes. Like I was going backwards, I think.
Right.
But that's what happened. I stayed there for several years, and she really blessed me in so many different ways and taught me a lot of things to just support myself over time.
Right. Okay. So you're working in the back of a kitchen.
Yeah.
Under the table.
Yeah.
What'd you do after that?
So I started, you know, like I really wanted to become a chef. And so all the chefs there was like a line of like 30 different chefs.
It's a big restaurant.
It was a big restaurant. I'm telling you, it was a lot. And
I don't think I've ever seen 30 chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was aggressive. And they ended up they just hated their lives. Right. Like they weren't satisfied with cooking and being a chef. And so they were trying to talk me out of it. But a lot of them did drugs. And so I ended up, one of my best friends at the time, he was smoking with some older girls. And I found out, and it was like devastating at first, because you grow up and like, you know, dare and all these other things. Like, no, you're not doing that, are you? You know, it's bad.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah, bad. Yeah, right. And so they were smoking marijuana. They invited me to, and the peer pressure, I ended up doing it with some older, beautiful girls. And I was like, yeah, my best friend, them. So
pretty hard to say no to.
It was pretty hard to say no.
Yeah.
So I did that. And we just laughed the whole night. And I realized quickly, like, hey, this was the first time at a young age that I was able to kind of like release and, you know, not worry about finances. Because at a young age, I was worrying like, are the lights going to get turned off? Are we going to have the rent money? Are we going to have these type of things taken away from us? And so it was just scary. And being able to laugh for the first time and kind of relax, and it was like, hey, I like this. I want to do this more. I want to be around these girls more. And but I knew naturally, like instantly, that I wouldn't be able to afford it, and I didn't even know how much it was. I was just like, I probably can't afford this. This looks expensive.
Oh, so they were also spotting you the marijuana.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. And so when I thought I wanted to do this again, but they're going to ask for money or chipping in, I was like, maybe I can get it and they could pay me and I could smoke for free. It was just naturally.
You're just going to source it.
Yeah, I became a wholesaler really quick. Like it was the wildest thing.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I ended up buying from some of the people at work. Like,
so you went from church boy to getting a job in the kitchen.
Yep.
So like, well, I might as well like supply this.
Yeah, I might as well supply this. Yeah, it was a hell of a journey.
Yeah,
really quick.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you found the supply, coworkers.
Yep.
To go. So I guess your best friend at the time, you're saying that he didn't work at the restaurant.
He didn't. No.
Okay, I see. All right. For some reason, I thought that was from the restaurant. Okay, so then you got some and then you brought it to them.
Yep.
And had them.
They paid me.
So that plan worked exactly. It executed well.
It executed well, and then I just became in this routine of who else in my circle or other friends, and slowly but surely it turns into like now I'm selling marijuana. And again, because I wasn't used to spending money or having money, however much I received, I just put into this, this like under the mattress type of approach,
Very cliche, like you just put it in the shoebox.
Yeah, exactly. It was, exactly this. And so I'm just putting it in the shoebox away in my closet, hiding it from mom, and going back to my drug dealer and saying like, how much can I get? And so it just get bigger and bigger. And over like a few years, it just kept on turning into this that I'm walking away with, briefcases at first with several, 4 or 5 pounds in there, and then duffel bags. And it turned into 10, 15, 20 pounds. And then it's like you start knowing like what you're doing of like.
For context.
Yeah.
Because maybe not everyone knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
15, 20 pound bags. Is that multiple duffel bags?
It's like 2 duffel bags. Yeah.
2 duffel bags.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, it might be exposing, some ignorance here. It's just not from that world.
No, it's okay. I appreciate you not being from that world. Yeah. I try to keep my surroundings not in those worlds anymore.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what took place. And it turned into a circle of people that I couldn't trust. I had, it just turned into a bad lifestyle. I've had guns to my head.
At which point do you like, hey, this is the wrong path?
Yeah.
Was it that moment?
Well, I've had guns to my head, knives to my throat. I've had best friends that I hung out with for every single day for 2 years, plus. Every single day, group of them, 5 of them, plotted against me and robbed my house a couple days before Christmas. And once I found out, within a week or two, it was
you found
them.
out that it was them?
Yeah. It was like, okay, like this is wrong. And I also had friends, I would call them more acquaintances, but people in bad neighborhoods that I hung out with frequently that were going to jail or getting murdered in New Jersey. And so it was just one of those situations that it's like, this is becoming way too dangerous. It's getting too crazy. And I fully felt like the path that I was taking, I was going to go to jail, and I was just risking too much. And I didn't want that, Right. I could have been killed. There were so many different circumstances that I just wasn't happy with the direction in my life I was going.
This movie does not play out well.
Not a good. Yeah. It's not looking good.
So obviously the peers going to prison, getting murdered, like that wasn't so much a surprise. It was just like, man, that is a real thing. Like you always knew it was a possibility.
It's funny. It's because like when people try downplaying like marijuana or like weed, it's like, oh, it's just weed.
It's no big deal.
It's not a big deal. And it's just a gateway drug or whatever. It's just like, they play it down like it's just little stuff, or like, oh no, I'm not addicted to it. Things like that. I can stop anytime, but it's like, but I don't, and I'm like the first person to admit like, no, I was addicted. I used it for the good, the bad, the ugly, the everything in between, And so I think the naive in me of being young, dumb, I just didn't realize that could happen.
Right.
I thought, I could get arrested maybe, and that wouldn't be good. But when I started seeing other people get killed.
So that was the wake up call.
Yeah. It was extremely crazy.
And then your friends robbing you.
Yeah.
What kind of trust issues? I guess let's walk through the scenario.
Sure.
What was, like if we were to turn this into like a Netflix movie, like what happened?
Yeah. So I was out shopping for Christmas gifts for like friends and family. A few days before Christmas, I was with my girlfriend at the time. In New Jersey, like a mall is like 45 minutes away, an hour away. Everything's kind of more rural and further out. And so they ended up just plotting against me. One person in the mix got more jealous and so forth because he saw some money that I had, a lot of money. And so they basically plotted against me. He kind of orchestrated the other guys to do the dirty work, and they broke into my house when I was gone.
So while you were gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they stole my safe and a bunch of other things in there.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, how did you find out?
I found out from like almost just like some detective work and just being able to read body language.
Mhm.
I started having conversations with a couple of them,
They didn't
and
hide it well.
they you could just tell something was off,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't acting like a real friend of like, oh my God, what happened? Tell me. Like, so I started just lying to them, saying like, yeah, well, I got the cops out there. They got some good fingerprints, like we should know in the next day or so. And you could just see them like asking more questions about that and like sweating it a little bit.
You're testing them.
I was testing them, and they were failing miserably. And I was like, this looks really friggin' suspicious.
Yeah.
And before you know it, before I left I did leave their home later on that day. One of them comes over, calls me, say, hey, are you home? Can I stop by? And I was like, yeah, I just saw you a little bit ago. What's up? He came by and he, returned as much as he could.
Mm-hmm.
And just started apologizing.
Of his share.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
good friends to say the least. Yeah.
I mean, he at least tried to recover something.
Yeah.
So how did this affect you? Like moving forward?
Trust issues? Yeah.
Massive trust issues.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got to be a little paranoid after that, if not a lot paranoid.
Super paranoid.
If you're a real estate investor with a sales team and you're stuck babysitting reps instead of growing your business, this is for you. Right now, your reps are burning through your expensive leads like they're practice dummies. They're making costly mistakes you won't catch for weeks, and 70% of your potential revenue is walking to competitors because of inconsistent follow-up. That's why over 130 operators are now using objectionproof.ai to automatically review every single call within minutes, train reps with AI roleplay sessions, and never miss another follow-up. Stop watching your competitors pull ahead while you're trapped doing manager work. Click the link in the description and book a call with my team to see how we can help you install a self-managing sales team this week.
I was already paranoid before that, let alone now all my friends. Like I didn't trust anybody. I had family issues as well. I had girlfriend issues. I had 99 problems, and all of them were a part of it.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those, it was a bad situation.
So, and this is curiosity for myself here.
Please.
You bankroll your own operation. You are the bank.
I am.
So getting robbed, how do you start over?
Yeah. I had certain things stashed away. I had some money. I also had really good relationships with my contacts that I never had to, but if I was in a crazy circumstance like that, they would from me. There was one situation that when I actually moved to California, not to fast forward stuff here, but I was growing marijuana and I was mailing it to the East Coast and buying some as well. And there was one time that I did get robbed and I didn't have anything to start over with. And this is how I accidentally got into credit cards and 0% interest. I figured out how to utilize credit cards, liquidate it into cash, buy 20 pounds of marijuana, mail it. I flew back home because I was so paranoid of like, I need to make sure everything's perfect. I need to micromanage this.
Right.
And make sure that I collected my money so that I could pay back off the credit cards without getting any fees and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So it was wild.
All right. So there's the title is How to Buy Real Estate with Credit Cards, but really there's other things you can buy with credit cards.
Yeah.
You can fund your
oh yeah. Please don't do that. Please buy real assets. Like don't be a moron, That's so good.
And then knives to your throat and guns to your head. So let's talk about each of those circumstances.
Yeah. You don't realize, or I didn't, again, young, dumb, you don't realize the type of, like the decisions we make, it takes us down a path and you don't know who has jealousy, envy, or whatever they're going through. And I was meeting up with some new people at different times in different weird places.
It's kind of par for the course though, right?
It's part of the role, right? Yeah. And so, I had one circumstance where I pulled up in the middle of the night into this dark area. I had a dark car. I I pimped it out like a typical young drug dealing kid would. I had a Mercedes. I put rims on it. I tinted out the whole, all of it. Stupid stuff. Stood out too much. That's why I got pulled over all the time. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, but I had somebody get in the car, put a knife like right to me, and was demanding me to give all my stuff. And I was always very young, dumb, but also like the principle of any certain situation like means so much more to me,
Mhm.
which is really stupid. Because now it's like if somebody want to rob me over anything, it's like, dude, take it, whatever you want.
Mhm.
Like I don't care. Like
Right.
it's not worth it.
Mhm.
You need it more than me, take it.
Mhm.
It's all good. I'll get it back. Money
Right.
will come and go. But back then, like over any little bit, just for the principle of it,
Mm.
my ignorance was like I would die over anything.
Mm.
Really stupid. Not like a hero brave moment, just like stupid.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know. Um and so in that circumstance, I was driving still, and so I was just driving. I started flooring it and starting like go like this, and so he started panicking and freaking out, and so I was able to like hold on to his hand a little bit, start pushing out and pushing this guy out of my door as I'm starting to drive like kind of crazy.
You push him out of the car.
Yeah, going fast too. It was wild.
So that's the part we can put in a Netflix movie.
That was a Netflix movie for sure. Yeah.
You gotta have Liam Neeson playing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. And then the gun.
The gun situation, that was so much more terrifying to me because it wasn't in a car or anything that I could get out from. But this was in a bad area too. This was kind of like a hood area. It was a sad situation because I knew their whole family. And this young kid, he was starting to like come up and trying to figure out how to hustle and do certain things. But I knew his whole family, and I took care of I helped pay for like groceries and stuff at the time for their family in certain ways. And so he asked me to come over, and he asked for a lot, and it was like surprising. And I was like, okay, well, let's see.
Mhm.
This is our first time doing business together. So I was kind of like, you want a pound right away? This is kind of weird. And then he was just acting weird with it. Like it just didn't feel right. I had a gut feeling. It's like, this doesn't feel right. Like, let me start getting organized, clean up, and make sure that I'm not vulnerable here. And like, let me start getting out. And when I started doing that, he was acting all fidgety. And then he went in the other room and he pulled out and he had a gun. And we were in the kitchen now, and it was one of those situations, kind of like if you're gonna shoot, shoot. And that was just the ignorance on my side,
Mhm.
but I wasn't gonna give up the book bag that had everything in it.
Mhm.
And then his girlfriend was right there too, like cooking in the kitchen, like stupid stuff, just like young, dumb, both of us ignorant. And so it was just one of those situations that I like stood right behind her, kind of used her as a shield and started walking back, and he starts freaking out. Once I got out of the door, then he's just chasing the whole time.
Mhm.
But I didn't have anything. I got in the car. He just aims all over. He didn't shoot or anything, and I just floored the car getting out. I had my cousin in the car as well. It was just a stupid situation.
So which actual event was the one that's like, all right, I am done? That wasn't it.
I know. I wish that was that one right there was like, that was a lot
Mhm.
for me. That was a scary moment. It really was. I knew after that moment I had to get out of that neighborhood because there was nothing good happening.
Yeah.
But I did move to California. I moved to San Diego. I started doing like real wholesaling, but drug related industry. And I was doing less hand to hand and smaller stuff. I was just growing and buying and mailing stuff
Mhm.
to the East Coast and counting on people to do what they're supposed to
Mhm.
and pay.
Yeah.
But those were the circumstances that I realized I had my explosion in my apartment it was September 24th, 2013,
Mhm.
where I was making hash oil in my apartment. And that was the aha moment that I needed. Like with my
Sounds like a-
personality type, if I would have just got like a little slap on the wrist, a little arrest here and there, something like that, it wouldn't have changed my life. I literally needed to be on fire, have an explosion, and facing all these criminal charges and everything else for me to be like, hey, dude, you're on the wrong path. You need to get off this and you got to do something else. I just didn't have any guidance, or I didn't know any better,
Right.
you know? Like I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out the whole time selling drugs, but I also was in the restaurant industry.
Mhm.
And so my goals at the time were eventually when I moved out to California, it was like, I'm going to grow so much, make so much money, and then I'll move up north and I'll buy land where I can grow even more. And then if I make enough money from that, then maybe I can buy a restaurant.
Right.
Now what I know about restaurants and making money with that would be the worst thing.
Worst
Don't
thing
do
to
that.
do. Yeah,
Don't do that.
Just so for context, when you were at the point getting robbed,
Yeah.
what kind of money were you making?
I was making about $1,000 to $2,000 a day.
Okay. So $250,000?
Yeah. A
Easy?
little bit more.
A
Yeah.
little more?
Yep.
Okay. Once you got to growing in California,
Yeah.
what kind of money are we talking about? I guess before to answer the question, for California, we're talking about legal or illegal?
So I had my card. I was doing everything legal.
On the up and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what made me feel comfortable too. I was not around all the stinking thinking negative people in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was like, everybody smiles over here. I blend in, like no cops are getting me or anything. Because I was pulled over like 100 times in my crazy vehicle over there. So I got a different car, got an Acura, didn't tin out all the,
Right.
and I blended in, went to the beach a lot, and it was just one of those, it felt like I was leveling up. But I was probably making about $40,000 a month.
Right.
So nothing like crazy, but because I was wholesaling at that, I was growing. I was putting a lot of money into that, just keeping me busy.
Right.
And I was smoking a lot, and I was just sending it, bigger packages back home.
Right. Okay. So then something changed.
Yeah.
So explain to me the explosion.
The explosion is the thing that changed my life completely. It was like, you're at this fork in the road. This is where totally, like, God took me off of this bad path and put me on a different one. Thank God. Because it was on that date, I was just trying to rush. And so I could go surfing. And then I wanted to get a burrito with some friends afterwards. That was my goal. But I was making a bigger batch.
Big goals.
I got big goals. Like, that's what I was trying to do that evening.
And surfing.
Yes.
All right.
Important.
Yes.
All right. In this order.
Yes.
And so I was making hash oil and with like trimmings and other things. And I was using butane as one of the methods. And so I knew that it was dangerous, but I also felt like I've always felt like God has protected me in so many different ways that it's like.
You've probably done this like 1,000 times.
For the hash oil, I've done it. It was probably like 20, 30 times.
Yeah. So it's not like something that you've never done before.
But it was always smaller amounts. This one, it was like a bigger amount, but I was like, it's okay, But it wasn't, because all the fumes built up in the room, and even though everything was turned off, the stove behind it was an electrical stove that wasn't on, but I guess something behind it sparked with all the fumes, and it popped out of. It exploded. It popped out of the wall, and I was in the kitchen. I was kneeling down. I got tossed into the living room. It was about 5 feet. I got up and I was on fire, and so I naturally
on fire.
On fire, yeah. And so I was wearing a white t-shirt.
Oil?
It was hash oil, yeah.
Hash oil.
Yeah, but basically it's like fumes from butane cans.
Yeah,
I just went through a lot of butane cans. And I was wearing a white t-shirt, I was wearing basketball shorts, and I was wearing socks. The socks, and then also I was wearing baseball gloves, which I don't like baseball, but they were just laying around, and I put them on to so that I could throw them away after, so my hands didn't get all sticky. and it actually protected me. You can see, skin graft there.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my hands could have really been mangled up. My feet, same thing. Every other area of me was like red, or it was just peeling off. And so my shirt I ripped off, but it also burnt into nothing. It totally disintegrated. And then my shorts turned into almost like a plastic, just like small, like tar.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm naked. I put back on clothes. And just from I wouldn't say the excitement, but the adrenaline's like pumping. And so now I go back into the kitchen. I'm putting out the fire. It was just
you were conscious, like you didn't it didn't knock you out. You were like dealing with it.
I instantly knew this is what I was thinking. I'm instantly going to jail, and like this is really, really bad because all of the windows in the house, it made a huge pop, a huge boom, and all the windows exploded.
Mm-hmm.
There were like old windows to this old house, like this old apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard the neighbor screaming. There was 8 units there. And I'm just in this one corner unit. And so the whole neighborhood starts coming out. One of my neighbors comes up and gives me a fire extinguisher,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just a crazy circumstance. I see my 2 dogs. I'm running around like trying to get all my paraphernalia into like a duffel bag and try to like throw it somewhere. And I was unplugging all my plants and my growing, to make it look like, well, it's not related to that, because I knew they would be blaming it on that. And I basically got everything all organized. I put it down on my couch in the living room. And then I see in my bedroom, my dog's just like standing on my bed, and all the smoke was like getting like close to their head. And I just like, my heart just melted. I was like, ugh, I'm like putting the dogs at risk, and I'm all these people. And it's like enough is enough. I just got to surrender. I got to give up.
Yeah.
Like I can't fight this anymore.
What blows my mind is that you were conscious.
Yeah.
And aware, like hyper aware this whole time.
It's a unique thing because I've been in other random, wild type of like moments where like you got to think quick.
Yeah.
And I actually do very well in those circumstances. Mm-hmm. But it feels like time slows down, right? But you got to, like this is...
your skin's peeling off.
It was... So I didn't realize that it's peeling off until I actually settled down and I went outside, and I had my 2 dogs on like the chains just outside, and the ambulance, there was firefighters as well, but there was helicopters over. It was crazy. Made the news for the first time, but it wasn't nothing to be proud of, not in the right direction. But that's when I look down and I just see my skin start like melting off, and I'm like, oh God. I should probably go to the hospital, because they were telling me like, you got to go, dude. But everything, I smelled horrible. Like, like you've burnt hair before.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like the whole body's just like fried chicken. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was nasty. So that was crazy.
So you jump in the ambulance then in there?
Yeah, they take me to the ambulance. They
didn't get arrested.
No.
Spot.
Thank God, yeah.
Okay.
But they start pumping me up with morphine, and they get me to the ambulance. I'm trying to like crack jokes with people like the EMTs and the ambulance firefighters, because we're all in an elevator going up, and I just smelled horrible. And
so you were awake this whole time.
Yeah, I just felt so bad that they had to,
mm-hmm.
do this.
Yeah,
good people handling this, and so I was making jokes like, "You guys should have saw my hair before this" and stuff. But once we got in, they started doing all their stuff. They were putting me down within a few minutes, inducing me into a coma. I didn't realize, but they told me I had to go through surgery to start scrubbing off all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would need to get donor skin and other attempts to try to make the skin start growing.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, the cops came in, a detective, and was asking me questions about the circumstance and so forth.
It's a bad time, officer.
Yeah, bad time. Yeah. And so I was just playing dumb and like, I don't know, it was crazy. It's making pasta.
I'm going to sue the landlord for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So they put you in a coma, they did surgery. So how long were you in a coma?
I found out I was in a coma for 7 days. When I woke up, excruciating pain. So induced coma for a week. They put me through 3 surgeries. I had to learn how to walk again, which was wild. Like 3 weeks bedridden, your legs just give out. And so I started like standing up, and all the pins and needles go down, but it's like excruciating. It's wild. And eventually I got my strength back, and after all the surgeries, all that stuff, I got released. And that's when a couple weeks later, I found out that they raided my home, and so it was trashed. My best friend,
Understandably so.
yeah, because they trashed it, they weren't organized with their raid, and so they missed a lot of areas where they, I found an extra pound of weed in there. I found a bunch of money. Before I left my apartment too, when I'm chaining up my dogs, I also took like 2 stacks of money and I put it underneath the sole of my shoe. So right when I woke up, that was the first thing that I asked for. Like, where's my clothes at? Where's my shoes? And it was still there. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, my friend organized my home. He started selling off all my stuff. And the plan was in a couple weeks, we would move to Colorado, try to just like skip town and be done with this. Cause they still never charge me with anything. They didn't serve me or anything. Until about a couple days before we were about to move, they it wasn't like a raid, but they came to arrest me at night. And so I was just about to go to bed. They arrested me as if they served me papers, but they didn't. So I didn't know, like I missed court basically. And so they came to arrest me. And that's when I was arrested once when I was younger and got a little slap on the wrist, went home, had to show up to court a couple months later. I thought it was going to be something similar. It wasn't. It was, hey, your bail is $100,000 and there's no 10% of that, like 100,000's owed. That's what and you got these felony charges over you and you're sleeping here tonight. And I was like, oh, wow. And it was it was scary. It was crazy. It was very, like jailhouse political, like jailhouse rules. So that was terrifying because they segregate you in different areas. Wild. And so I stayed in there for 3 weeks.
For them to figure out the trial?
I had to go to court several times. I went to court 3 times. And the last time that I went to court, it was about a day, maybe 2 days before Thanksgiving. And the judge had just grace for me and just lenience and allowed me to get released on pre-trial services. So I had to fight it. I had to take it to trial. It was a wild situation. I was fighting 5 felonies and a misdemeanor. It was the same charges as if I was making meth.
I see.
And so that was very wild to me. But it's also the same type of thing that so many people out there for marijuana like downplay. Oh, it's just marijuana. It's like, well, I could have hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
I hurt myself.
Right.
I made a big mess here. So, yeah, I was facing up to 12 years in prison. And that was wild to me just because the ignorance, I just didn't know.
Right.
And so I had to go through daily call-ins, Monday through Friday. I had to call into the courts and just check in. And I also had to go to 3 meetings per week and get signed off. And I had to find a mentor. While that whole time, I also had to get some money together and find a lawyer that was willing to help me out.
Yeah.
Because it was wild.
You beat the rap?
I did. It was 2 years later. We kept on postponing it. 2 years later, I had a mentor that guided me and said, like, I have to be prepared for this to speak when the time came. They were about to sentence me to 5 years, or I'm sorry, 3 years. They were giving me 5. The judge, she was going to give me 3. The DA was proposing 5 instead of 12. She was going to give me 3, and they gave me the opportunity to speak. I just ranted on for 5-10 minutes and then telling my story. And then she ended up having leniency on me, and she just total 180. She was like, it wasn't malicious. You're not going to do it again. So she gave me house arrest and 3 years probation.
Wow.
It's crazy. I was like literally about to go in right then and there. And then, yeah, it was just wild experience.
It's very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
What was the mentor for?
The what?
Mentor.
The mentor?
Yeah.
So basically because I went to those meetings, it was like NA meeting and AA or MA. So they have a marijuana anonymous one, which a lot of people just made a joke out of it. But I went seriously and I ended up finding a mentor at like the AA meetings. And so this was like the first male figure that actually like saw something in me more than I saw in myself.
Yeah.
And so gave me some hope and he gave me some work and he would just like sit there as I'm like doing some stuff and he's just speaking life into me. And so it was like what I needed at that time.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So we finally turned a new leaf.
Yeah, finally.
All right. So turning a new leaf. Is this when you get into real estate?
This is when I got into real estate. Yeah.
All right. So when was this all going down?
So this was 2013 is when I started working because I was doing Kirby vacuum cleaner sales as well, doing door to door. And I got good at that because of my past experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a surprise, right?
So 2013 and you got all this experience. So, I had a video that went viral a couple years back.
Yeah.
And the video was basically me talking about like my favorite people to hire.
Oh, yeah.
Are the people that dealt drugs and never got busted.
Never got busted.
And I talked about like, what are all the different skill sets that you have, right? You're good at sales. You're good at collections.
Yeah.
You're good at conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Maybe through force, but we resolved conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understood accounts receivable. You understood networking.
Yeah.
Not afraid of work.
Yeah.
You know how to find the right people as well as the right materials.
Yep.
A lot of valuable skills.
Value stuff.
Right?
I've never had somebody break it down so eloquently like you have.
But
That's
those
good.
are valuable skills. And I figured this out because, I had my brokerage.
Yeah.
Right. Stunning Homes Realty. We were up and running. We were around for 10 years, like about 10 years exactly before I shut it down. And there was a day where I looked around and I was like, all my best realtors have something in common. They all dealt in high school or college.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, okay, so there's something here. So what is it? Ask each one of them. Like,
yeah.
What were you good at? What did you do? What did you deal?
Yeah.
Right. Most of them was marijuana.
Yeah.
One guy went a little harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And he actually had a similar circumstance where like he got out just in time.
Right.
Because he stopped like a few days before his house got raided.
Yeah.
Right. And so like there was nothing in his house because he had just stopped.
Thank God. Right.
Right. And so, yeah, there's that commonality. So like it's no surprise the success you have.
Yeah.
Because you'll have the relevant experience.
Yeah. It definitely comes with drive.
Experience that helps.
Yes.
Transition.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I would, with the door-to-door sales, it helped out drastically. And it got me really excited because now I started getting training for like door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This is powerful,
Yeah.
And so that was really exciting with all my experience for 10 years prior of doing things illegally.
Right.
But eventually I knocked on somebody's door and it was somebody that owned a real estate investing company. And he was like, dude, you got to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, shoot, okay. So I checked it out and it was the first time that I saw like really great, amazing systems in place. And it was organized. There was real good money coming in. There was like a whiteboard and just you see all these projects and all the money coming in. And it just felt good. I was like, wow, this is so inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And they fell apart about 6 months later because of management and money. People getting jealous over money.
Mm-hmm.
So that fell apart.
You know that experience.
I knew that experience. So I saw that coming. So I was like, all right, we're backing up. But it got me the motivation that I needed. So afterwards, I went down this rabbit hole of all the books, all the podcasts, all the YouTube of trying to figure out like, how do I actually do this real estate thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with the BRRRR strategy.
Yeah.
And And so I spent 2 full years, like 4 hours every single day while working 2 restaurant jobs. So I had 1 day off a week, but I managed to put in 4 hours every day on all that knowledge and like focusing on my education. And that's where it was the first time in my life as I'm reading. Like I only read a few books before that in my life, in school or anything. It was just a couple. And so when I was actually reading about BRRRR and real estate, it was like I was getting so excited.
Right.
I was like, I know I'm onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you, so working for this investment company,
Yeah.
were you buying properties for them?
It was, back then it was a lot of notice of defaults, a lot of pre-foreclosure, so modifications. And so I was basically going door to door. They would give me a list. I would drive around, go door to door and try to get them to talk to us and sign, an agreement to do a short sale or anything.
Okay. So did you help them buy houses?
I don't think I was that successful with it, honestly. I didn't get too many deals done. It started falling apart. I was kind of a lone wolf doing it on my own. They didn't give me too much guidance at first, but it was enough motivation when I was in the office seeing the team and seeing how things were going and how to get leads. Like that was exciting.
Right. So then how did you get your first deal?
My first deal, part of the reason it took 2 full years is I submitted about 30, I think it was like 38 offers on
In 2 years?
In 2 years, yeah.
Not a very good rate.
Yeah, not a good rate, but I got none accepted.
Even worse rate.
Even worse rate, yeah. These numbers aren't looking good, buddy. Yeah. So it ended up being, when you're in San Diego, you're going against people like me now. You're going against people that are sophisticated and all cash, no contingencies, and close in 5 days.
Right.
Yeah. And so if you find a deal, that is. Otherwise, I was trying to get some, regular FHA financing. I was trying to do a 45-day close on the market. So I was just getting beat out by real investors,
Got it.
Lack of education.
So then when did you get your first deal?
In 2015, I got my first deal. I think it was July 21st. I got my first deal and it was over in Ohio. So there was about
San Diego.
Yeah. In 6 months, like towards the end there of the 2 years, I started looking in these other states, Colorado, Arizona, and then New Jersey, because that's where I grew up. And then I had 3 people in 1 week recommend, check out Ohio. It cash flows there. And so everything that I was running numbers to just seemed like a cash flow.
Well, for BRRRR, you can buy off the MLS.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially back then. Yeah. And so I was looking for something like job growth, population growth, and then something unique about the area. And so there was a famous Catholic university that people all around the world would come to. And so it was kind of just a wild opportunity. They just announced the semester before that they had no more room for juniors or seniors, so that they would have to get housing outside. I was like, perfect. And so there was a couple investors in that area, 2 that were elderly, like 80s and 90s, that their family was trying to get them to sell before they pass. And then another one he was like 40, 50, but he was getting a divorce and it was court ordered to sell like 50 of his properties.
Got it. 50.
So, 50. It was a lot. So it was just like, it was a buyer's market, hardcore in this area. And nobody knew about it. And it made sense for me to go after it.
Did you buy all 50?
No. I started off with a big list. It was like 200 something, got it down to 120, got it down to 60, viewed 30. And I had a list at the end of like 5 that I was submitting offers on. I purchased 1. And then 2 months to the day, I purchased and closed on a triplex. So out of those 5.
Got it.
And so I made all the mistakes on the first one.
Like what?
Contractors specifically. Even though I was using credit cards to purchase and fund the renovation, I liquidated the cards into cash and gave the contractors the cash instead of paying Yeah. They're just like, all right, see ya. Yeah. So... but luckily that triplex ended up saving me on all the mistakes that I did, it cash flowed. It needed very little work.
Yeah.
So that saved me.
So right off the bat, then going to Ohio was a success.
It was, it takes, there's a lot of roller coasters of like ups, downs of like, is this right? Is it, fear because you don't know. And I didn't have a coach or guidance to say like, oh, it's okay. Trust the process. So there's a lot of ups and downs, but within the first 6 to 12 months of stabilizing it, I'm like, cool, this works. So I can do it again now.
Okay. So this whole time you're working in the restaurant, 2 restaurant jobs.
Yeah.
And you're buying these things off MLS.
Yep.
Okay. So then how many did you buy before you?
The next year, it took a year to stabilize those 2. The next year I bought 10. And that just went a heck of a lot quicker. I bought 4 basically at a time. And yeah, it just started setting me up for building systems, building people. And it also forced me to systemize the process behind it because I'm naturally a little bit more of a control freak. And because I was 3,000 miles away in San Diego, like it forced me to systemize it because I couldn't be there all the time. If it was right down the street, I would have been there every day.
What were some of the biggest challenges as you're buying the portfolio? I mean, like 4 to 10 to, I mean, these are big jumps.
Yeah. It was just realizing when I did the refinance and I got all my money back and it still cash flowed. Back then I was making like $1,900 a month off the restaurant. And I'm giving 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So when I got a triplex and I'm making $21,000 a month and it pays for the mortgage and I also got all my money back from doing the BRRRR.
21,000 a month?
2,100 a month.
2,100 a month. Okay. So 2,100 a month. So
it's already making more and it's just one property.
Right.
And that one was easy. The first one, ton of mistakes. It took a full year, 5 contractors. I lost 35,000. Like I made mistakes on that one, but the second one gave me hope.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I put $7,000 into it. It already had one tenant. It already paid the mortgage. The mortgage was $450.
Really paid the mortgage.
It paid. So the first unit already had $600 a month, and I knew I could increase it. So eventually, once I rented out the other 2, I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, this is easy.
It's easy. I can do this.
Right.
So once I just realized that motivation, I just hustled and I got the, bunch of opportunities in that area. I started looking for the best ones and building the right people to be able to get it done.
What do you mean the right people?
Just realizing like I needed to get the right connections for contractors because I was doing the BRRRR. I had all of these properties had renovations that were needed.
Got it. So
I needed
to manage the properties on the rehab.
Yeah, I needed boots on ground to help me fill the vacancies too. I tried getting property management companies and realized like in that area they were all just criminals. They were crooks. They were bad. They're bad.
Why? Why were they bad?
The reviews, the not just pocketing money, not communicating properly. And even back then, like I wasn't a great leader.
Right.
So it's like I wouldn't have known. I definitely would have gotten manipulated in those situations.
Yeah, property management is funny. It's just one of those industries where like everyone hates you. It doesn't matter.
It's tough.
It doesn't really matter how good you are.
Well, if you could get good, I've heard of some really good companies that for property management.
But tough. Even when you're great, someone hates you.
Yeah, somebody does hate you. That's right.
Landlord or the tenant.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Someone I don't know if it's possible to have like 5 stars from the landlord and the tenant.
That's so true. That's tough.
Okay, so then you get this going. You're up and running. I mean, how long did you go down this road before you started looking at like credit cards as a way to service your goals?
Well, that was actually in the very beginning. That was the 2 years test. Like once I've read and realized BRRRR was going to change my life, I was like, cool, how are we going to do this?
Right.
And because I was broke. I was in 10 grand, it was 11 grand worth of debt for the very first time in my life because I blew up that apartment. And so that was terrifying, being in 11 grand worth of debt. Terrifying.
That was the first time you were in debt?
That was the first time I was in debt.
Something powerful there.
It is, yeah.
So,
but I didn't go to college. I hustled and I always had a job. I never didn't have a job and I was selling drugs.
Right. Well, I just think like we were such a consumer driven society.
True.
Right now there's a lot of arguments about the tariffs and this and that.
Yeah.
Right. And the one leverage America has, which isn't a good thing, is that we are a consumer society.
Yeah.
Everyone's up to their eyeballs.
Oh,
in
we
debt.
buy. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like every other country is like, why are you in debt?
Yep.
Here it's like, how much debt do you need?
Yeah.
Right.
Again, back then, I grew up poor.
Right.
Like, we didn't have money to spend money. So therefore, when I started getting money, I just hoarded it.
Yeah.
I would just buy more.
I think that's what you did. I'm not
That's
sure.
what I did.
I'm not sure that's necessarily normal. I don't know.
True. There is a lot of people, when they start making money, they start blowing money.
Right.
For sure. For sure. That just wasn't. And don't get me wrong, I definitely spent money too.
Yeah. But
You
you
know?
spent cash.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. So right off the bat, we're going to BRRRR with credit cards.
Yes. That was my only way.
Yeah.
I ended up getting out of the drug game. And for the 2 years when I was out and like I was done and I was fighting the pretrial services, I was getting out of the $11,000 worth of debt. I did that within 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
They were shocked from that. And then afterwards,
Who was shocked from that?
the property management company.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I ended up saving $35,000, all just like, you know, wouldn't say slave labor, but like I was just like working around the clock, you know, for minimum wage and so forth. And so I saved up $35,000, and that's all I had to get started in real estate. But again, it doesn't go far, you know.
And for down payments and repairs and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. So I still knew I would need to utilize. It made me go back to the time where I remember when I got robbed and I used my credit cards to be able to do a balance transfer and get kind of like a cash advance into my bank account.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if I could do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still had a very poverty mindset around money. I put it on a pedestal. It controlled me all the time. So it's like I was cheap. I wanted to pay nothing for the money. I wanted to borrow the money, but like, you know.
You want to pay interest on it?
I was thinking, well, look, I just need the money temporarily. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to renovate it, and then I'll refinance it, you know, whatever. Like, Don't charge me that much. But that's where I started figuring out, going down this rabbit hole, not just real estate, but also credit and finances and like, you know, how to be able to capitalize off of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, you know, we talk about the title of the show is, you know, how you buy real estate with credit cards.
Yeah.
How do you go about buying real estate with credit cards?
Yeah. Simple, right? So everybody asks like, all right, Brandon, well, you can't actually utilize a credit card at escrow, right?
Yeah. So merchant processing.
Yeah. So there are merchant processors, right? And then there are also, you can call it, like what I did initially was the very simple methods. Call up your bank and ask them, is there a promotional rate with either a balance transfer or a cash advance?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two terms that they're going to be educated and aware on. So if you say like, hey, I need this money liquid into cash from this credit card, balance transfer, cash advance, but I don't want to pay crazy fees on it.
Yeah.
Is there a promotional rate behind the scene? And with big banks, you'll see that more commonly. But nowadays, they'll charge you, 1 to even 5%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just flat fee, but 0% for 6 to 24 months typically. Usually 18 is the average.
So you just call your banks.
Yeah.
That you bank with or you have credit cards with.
Correct. Yep.
It's that simple.
It was that simple of all the methods that I've ever done. You can also use different websites like plastic.com or Milo.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's different resources like that. There's other ones too, like bill.com or Zil Money.
So this is basically in lieu of private money for the BRRRR model.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't have faith at all that anybody in their right mind would ever lend to me. Some young kid that had like the DA said a bunch of horrible things about me and I'm believing it. I'm like, yeah, I am a criminal. I did all the wrong things. I'm not a good person to be,
Yeah.
And so I had a low self-esteem. I didn't come from money. I didn't have any friends that had money at the time, and so I didn't even think it was an option.
Right. So how much credit card were you able to pull? I mean, like if you don't have much debt, the other thing too, is your credit score is normally not very good either.
No. So I did all the right things by every 6 months requesting credit limit increases.
Mhm.
So I had decent sized limits. I had 65, 75K credit card limits
Mhm.
at a young age.
Right.
Crazy.
So you were always just already back then calling to extend your line.
Yes. And I also did use my credit cards daily
Mhm.
for most things except the drug stuff back then.
Right.
But I would pay it off at the end of the day
Mhm.
because I didn't want to go into debt. I didn't want to pay any interest. So I was taking advantage of it. And again, cheap mindset. So I was like, I get 3%, cash back for the gas station. I'm using it there,
Mhm.
just whatever I could to save money. And so that's where I had decent sized limits. And that was the first thing that came into my mind is like, well, I have this big credit card limit. I'm not using all of it. It's zero right now, but I have 75,000 available. How do I actually use it all?
Right.
And so that's where, because I already had a bank relationship, because I called in, I knew what to say. I ended up getting it liquid into cash into my bank.
Mhm.
And at first, they're always going to tell you, ways to do like a mortgage or, but I didn't qualify for any of that stuff. Or if I did, it was very low limits,
Right.
So
are you saying then that you bought the entire house on credit cards?
I purchased several properties with credit cards initially.
We're talking like, what's the purchase price on these houses?
My very first one, it was $9,000.
How much?
$9,000.
Yes. For a house.
So it tells you a couple things here. Back then, it was 2015.
Yeah.
Also, it's Ohio.
Yeah.
Also, it's in the hood.
Mm-hmm. What part of Ohio?
It was it's called Steubenville, but it's about 30 minutes away from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was for a period of time, I was looking at buying just basically everything in Toledo.
Yeah.
Because Toledo is so freaking cheap.
Yeah.
Why is it so cheap?
Well, because people don't want to live there. No, because it's a different world in these areas. It really is. The population, it was like 19,000
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of dilapidated properties
Mhm.
because people hung on to them. They were doing their own maintenance work or not.
Yeah.
And people were getting old and, so it's just it was bad in many ways.
Yeah, because the houses I was looking at, it's like, all right, well, these houses are great prices, but like the rehab was always more than the house.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Was that
For sure.
when you were buying all these houses? It was basically like, I'm going to buy this house, but the rehab is going to be more.
Yeah. My second property I bought, it was $60,000. It was $60,500 for a triplex. I put $7,000 into it. It was good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it started pumping money for me. These places don't appreciate like crazy, but
Right.
they cash flow like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was pumped for that. Another property down the street, a couple houses down, I bought a triplex for $20,000 and I put $90,000 into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it appraised for $150,000. I got all my money back for all these. I just sold all my Ohio properties actually this year.
Really?
Yeah, just this year.
Why?
Because last year I read the book 10x is easier than 2x.
Mhm.
And it just anybody that didn't read that book, it comes down to the 80-20 rule. And it's just, realizing the 20% of what's making me money and keeping me happy and, feeling good is getting the 80% is sucking up and wasting my time.
Right.
So even though we systemized it and I'm only putting in a couple hours per month towards that, I don't need $10,000 in cash flow anymore.
Mhm.
That's not the season I'm in anymore. It was great back then, super needed.
Yeah.
But I need less distractions. I
Mhm.
need laser beam focus on this over here.
What's this?
This is Credit Counsel Elite. It's what I'm most passionate about, in addition to our real estate in California in general.
Mhm. Okay. So we just sold everything in Ohio.
Yeah.
So you say you're focused right now on Credit Counsel Elite and
Yes.
your real estate in San Diego.
Yes.
Talk to me about your real estate in San Diego.
Real estate in San Diego, I'm not taking down a dozen properties per month. I'm taking down 1 or 2 properties per year, but I cherry pick.
Mhm.
Like I'm looking for the best of the best that I'm going to make a minimum of $250,000, but ideally closer to $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've done this numerous times where I'm walking away within 90 days, $475,000.
Yeah.
Or we just did another property that I had $1 million in equity. So I was like, yeah, I'm refinancing it. I'm taking all the cash flow, like the tax-free money.
Yeah.
And we're doing Airbnb. And so doing cost segregations, taxes, all the things. And it just appreciates so well in California. You should never bet on that, by the way. But if I can get all my money back doing the BRRRR strategy, get paid for doing it, short periods of time, have a beautiful product, and like get the tax benefits, which I need, then it's like, why not? Hang on to it for a few years. It's been awesome. We're about to do ground up construction too because of ADUs over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can build for $300 a square foot, but that's how much it cost me. It's going to be valued at like $900 a square foot afterwards.
Yeah, ADUs is insane. So for those that don't know about ADUs, why don't you get everyone up to speed? Yeah, so ADU, it stands for excessive dwelling unit. Basically, it's just if you have the land and on the parcel, right? Backyard, side yard. In California, they'll get away with like a mini junior ADU where they're putting a couple 100 square feet. Like it's basically a like a shed, Treehouse.
It's crazy. It's a treehouse. Yeah. But luckily, some of the properties that we own, we've been able to have decent amount of land, which is great because I'm about to build 4 units on one. And turning into like the projects, It's in a beautiful area though. It's great. And then I'm building 3 in another, converting a garage and then doing 2 units in the back.
Yeah.
And so it's, ground up construction. I haven't done it yet. So it's just from what I understand from my knowledge in it, but it's going to be faster. It's going to be cleaner and easier, because it's not, we've done so many renovations. This is starting from the beginning and it's going to be a 4 to 6 month process.
So we're not going to do the deal unless we make $250,000.
Yeah.
Where are you finding these deals?
Yeah. It's building relationships and letting people know that I'm serious and this is my criteria that I'm looking for. So we get a bunch of agents and wholesalers sending me off market pocket listings and so forth. And so it's like I said, we get several across my desk per week and I'm only taking down 1 or 2 per year. But I see people making mistakes in real estate, especially in California. It's like it's a 7-figure price tag to be able to get in and play around. And then you're okay with making potentially, penciling out numbers $50,000. But what about the miscellaneous or when holding costs take longer or anything?
Shifting the winds.
Everything. You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen. And that's why for me to make it worth my time, because we do very well with Credit Counsel Elite and our rentals in general, like we collect $50,000 a month off of that.
Yeah.
So super blessed. I don't need to do those things. I don't need to put myself at risk of, so I rather go for $250,000 on the low end, but aim for $500,000, $500,000 per project.
So what is a project like where you're clearing? Let's talk about $500,000. You clear $500,000 on a project. What is happening in this project?
We do the full renovation. We're doing, usually
is this a deal someone else sent to you?
Yeah.
Someone else sends a deal.
Yep.
You look at it, you underwrite it.
Yep.
And then
we do all cash, no contingencies, close in 5 to 7 days. We beat out 20 other people that are on, and I'll go hard right away, and I'll put anywhere from 20 to 50,000. I put 100,000 down in the past just to show like he's serious.
Yeah. That's very serious.
Yeah. Because anybody else, there's only like out of 20 other offers, there's maybe 1 or 2 people instead of putting 5 or 10 grand down, they're putting 20 grand down to make themselves look serious.
Yeah.
When I come in at 50 or 100 grand, they're like, oh, he's like serious. So it puts all the nonsense and you get more of their attention.
We had, long time ago when I was doing realtor stuff.
Yeah.
To get our contracts accepted, our earnest money was the purchase price.
Power.
Right? It's like, hey, look, we're going to fund you the purchase price.
Yeah.
As soon as we open escrow so that we're not messing around.
Yeah.
Like we are closing on this deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you always got to put yourself in the seller's shoes.
Yeah.
They have fear. Are you going to perform? they don't want to waste their time.
Right.
They want to know, like, hey, we're closing on this if I'm signing on it, and I can start planning my getaway. Like, I'm going to whatever's next for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want any of the BS.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I don't either.
So it's a complete remodel.
Complete, yeah. Gutted, opening up walls, kitchens, bathrooms, trying to add rooms or add bathrooms, paint, flooring, all the things.
Yeah. And then when did Credit Counsel Elite become a thing?
Credit Counsel Elite became a thing in 2017. 2015, I started doing the real estate, and throughout the next 2 years afterwards, just started networking a lot, going to, networking meetings and investing in some mastermind groups, and started realizing that when I'm networking, everybody hears my story about real estate. They're like, wow, that's awesome. You have no money into the deals. You're making this much cash flow. Great. That's crazy. I want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says they want to do real estate.
Right.
And then I'm like, cool. So when are we going to do it? Are you going to do it? And they're like, well, once I make money over here. And I was thinking to myself, like, well, what if you don't make money over there? Like, how long is that going to take?
Yeah.
Because it didn't take me long. It took me a while before I finally got the guts to actually buy real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
It took me 2 years.
Yeah.
But when I started doing it, it was like boom, 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 boom. And so I was just asking myself, what if that isn't successful? Or I didn't have the money either.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up using credit cards. And so I started just holding them for a second, well, what if you just use credit cards? They're like, what are you talking about? And so it just turned into something that I started coaching a couple of people just free, just anybody that cared to listen.
Yeah.
And they started doing it, and they started getting results quick.
Mm-hmm.
And within a couple of weeks, people are getting contracts under, deals under contract, doing the same process that I did. It was working. They got credit cards. They purchased it with credit cards. They were doing renovations with credit cards. And I helped out probably a dozen people. And then I went to this one mastermind. It was in Cancun. And there was 160 other real estate investors there. And we were all just networking by the pool. It was for a full week. And I was telling my story, how I was doing it with credit cards, and everybody asked so many questions. It went around to the host, and they asked me privately to come up on stage and talk about it. And I'm super introvert naturally, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, I pushed out of my comfort zone after a lot, but they asked me to come on stage and just Q&A about credit cards. And I started teaching people, and 160 people there, they all got super excited, started learning about it. And we had 30 people reach out to me afterwards saying that they wanted to pay me to learn this stuff. And so I just threw out a number.
Yeah.
And I had 20 people say yes to $5,000. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. It blew me away. That
was a good mastermind.
That was a great mastermind. I paid $10,000 to get there. It was all high level people.
Yeah.
But it was one of those situations that I realized right then and there that I didn't need to have the restaurant job. And I still didn't leave right away. It took me a while.
Still working the restaurant?
I still work in the restaurant.
You're doing all these deals.
2017 is when we stopped the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's because slightly after that, I was doing, I'm not a quitter naturally. So I ended up getting fired because I wasn't showing, I was still taking all these calls, real estate.
Hey, we need to focus on the.
Yeah. We got dishes over there, homeboy. You gotta.
The food's getting cold.
Yeah. Exactly. So, it was just one of those, it was a crazy situation. I'm still mind blown just thinking about it, because that was the big pivotal moment.
That's proof of concept. 20 people give you $5,000.
A lot. That was way more than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah. So, all right. So then boom, this is happening. At this point now, are you married?
No, we just got married actually last year in October 12th, 2024.
Awesome.
We've been together since 2015, since the very beginning. I was on house arrest.
Okay.
She didn't know.
Knew she was the one. Oh, she didn't know.
She didn't know at the time.
Okay.
Until
she's figured this out.
Yeah, she's figured it out. Yeah, she's noticed now. I'm not on it anymore, luckily.
Yeah. All right. So she's on this journey with you then on Credit Counsel Elite.
Oh yeah.
All right. So then in growing Credit Counsel Elite, what have you figured out along the way? As far as people's beliefs, systems, credit cards, this and that. What has surprised you in doing this?
I'm filming this video for the man himself, Mr. Ian Ross. The guy crushes. The guy's the best person in sales I've ever seen. I've invested elsewhere and I haven't got the same results. I've gone from being a seller, making 5K a month, to being a hybrid role, making 11K a month, to now be 4 months down the line from 5K to on a closing opportunity, inbound, full calendar, with the best opportunity, the best offer in my space. OTE is around 20K a month from month 2. So I've gone from 5K to 20K. If that's not a return on your investment, I don't know what is, man. If you're a salesperson and you don't invest in sales training, you're gonna get left behind because your job is to be better at sales. And sales training directly makes you more money.
If you like what you just heard and would like similar types of success, text CLOSE to 33777. And we'll see if you qualify to join Objection-Proof Selling. We're taking good sales reps and we're making them objection-proof.
Yeah, number one, there's tons of myths out there about credit and what we grew up believing to be true about financial literacy or the banking system in general. So there's a lot of nonsense with that. And I've also noticed that it is a real life game. Like Monopoly, like when we play the board game Monopoly, when you pass go, you're supposed to collect what?
$200.
Exactly. We all know this, right? Because it's the rules to the game. If you're playing Monopoly, but you don't know the rules to the game, you're not collecting your $200.
Right.
And if you're playing with my family, they're not telling you. You know what I'm saying? So it started breaking down to me that all of us have like some bank out there that we have a pet peeve with, like Wells Fargo sucks, Bank of America the worst.
Definitely Wells Fargo.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
100% Wells Fargo. There's no argument here.
There's no argument. There's no argument. But this is the thing. We think that the banks don't want to lend to us. They have to lend to us.
Yeah.
That's the business that they are in.
Right.
They're looking for low risk and high risk and avoid the high risk, right?
Right.
And no like and trust factor. So many people apply to banks but don't even have a bank account with them.
Yeah.
It's like there's rules to the game that they're judging us by that they didn't teach us in school. They didn't teach us at the dinner table growing up. But it's important for us to know because they have algorithms to see if we're going to be low risk or not.
Right. Likelihood of getting paid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so once you understand some of those rules, you understand that it's real life Monopoly. There's a real life game here. And to be able to fit within their box of lending, you want to say the right things. You want to position yourself properly. And so we've come up with 45 different metrics that we've noticed that the banks are using to judge us. And once you understand them to a core, then you can actually start positioning yourself to, it's not just about your FICO score.
No.
It's not just about your FICO score.
So what are some of those metrics?
So at first, it's broken down into like 3 pieces here. Not just about your FICO score, it's about your 6 boxes. That breaks off 10 different pieces of that make up your FICO score. So that's very important. But we've had stories of, this one member, he came in brand new, started getting some education, but still brand new, fresh. Looking at his sister's credit profile, she had an 840 FICO score. It's like, well, it doesn't get much better than that. Goes up to 850, right?
Yeah.
So he's thinking because we grew up thinking it's about your FICO score when it's not. He's thinking, cool, she'll get approved for everything. They applied to 7 different applications, one after another, denied. And so it tells you it's not just about your FICO score. It's about the bank relationship second. So 6 boxes, bank relationship, how long you been with them, what are you, what's your entity, the industry, how many products and services are you taking advantage of, what's the internal rating, how much money's going in versus going out over the last 30, 60, 90 days, or even 6 months, some banks will judge. All of this matters. And then last is what you're saying on these applications.
Yeah.
It's if you're shooting yourself in the foot saying, "Hey, I love teachers, but it sucks because it's not in teachers' favor." But if you say, "Hey, I'm a teacher, making 40, 50 grand a year, and then oh, by the way, I live in New York and my rent is,
Yeah.
all of that,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to be like, high risk,
Right.
good person, probably a good steward of the funds,
Yeah,
but
like you, I'll give you $20 on my own to lend you.
yeah, like they're going to give you small limits if they approve you at all.
Right.
So to be able to get them to say yes a majority of the time, and be able to get the best terms, best conditions, and highest limits, we've come up with basically we call it a mass apply. A mass apply is simply just an application sequence. When done correctly, you'll be able to get up to 90% approval odds.
Yeah.
And that's where we teach business owners how to get up to 500,000 with rates as low as 0%.
Mm-hmm.
And they can actually repeat this every 6 months per person. They have the option for that.
Like 500K every 6 months?
Up to 500K every 6 months. We've had people get higher than that as well. But
you're saying in a year someone can get to $1 million credit.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's interesting you talk about like, the relationship with each bank. So I have a interesting history with Chase Bank.
Yeah.
I had a business credit card with them.
Yeah.
That was pretty high, right? Like I was pretty close to maxing out. But
High balance.
Yeah, high balance. Okay. But I never missed a payment. Not once, ever. Always made more than my minimum payment, right?
Sure.
It wasn't paid off, but it was always more than minimum payment, and it was really high balance.
Yep.
And as I was a realtor, this was like, 2009, 2010, not a good time to be a realtor.
Was it a personal or
it was
business? It was business.
It was business card.
Good.
And so what was interesting was at this time, so it was 2009, because I was letting my house go into foreclosure.
Yeah.
Because the only way you can get a loan mod done was you had to miss payments.
Yeah.
You could not negotiate in good faith with a current mortgage.
So what happened though is your score starts going down, right?
Right. Yep. Which is not what I wanted, but again,
you had to.
They won't negotiate with you if you're current on your mortgage. So all right, well then let's let this house go into foreclosure.
So let me read your mind. So basically, they either closed out your account or they cut your limits down to nothing, right? And said you owe it all now.
Oh no, they said they just froze it.
They froze it.
So they just said like, hey, we're not gonna, you can't charge anymore. Like, account's not canceled, it's not due in full, but they just said like, well, Mr. Trang, we don't believe you can ever pay this off.
Back. Yeah.
I was like, well, that's unfortunate because like I had like a big month coming.
Sure.
And I was going to pay off half of it.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
That was my plan.
That was the plan.
But when they said, well, Mr. Trang, we don't think you can pay this, my answer was like, you're right.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, so what do you think I can pay? And so we settled.
Yeah.
We settled.
You're right.
You're right. I can't pay this. Right? And I settled it. I want to say like $10K to settle like the $40K on the credit card.
Sure.
Their choice, not mine.
Yeah.
Right? But once I settled it, they killed my business credit, which I understand.
For sure.
I don't like blame them for it.
Yeah.
It was irritating because I was going to pay them off. But they killed it. And so this whole time with Chase, up until very recently, I had a good business banking relationship with them, but I could never get approved for business credit.
Unless you go back and try to pay that.
Maybe, but there's no reason to, right? So like I had balances for, I think at one point, like 600 or 700K at Chase Bank.
Sure.
I have a personal credit card with them that does really well.
Yeah.
But I will never get approved for business credit card because of that one situation. So it's just funny. You're talking about like, here are all the things that
there's
data
rules.
points and rules.
Yep.
And it's like, this rule makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Well,
but they're the rules.
There are a couple of rules even in this circumstance. So say you did pay whatever that balance was, they would start opening up business lending to you again. It would be slow and steady, but you just got to think about the opportunity cost there. So, because you're thinking like, well, what's the point of paying 30, 40 grand? Stupid, right? Well, if they open up hundreds of thousands or even down the road, millions potentially to you that you could leverage at best terms and conditions, then maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
But again, there's 9,500 banks out there.
Right.
So you don't need to lean on just one.
Exactly.
But back then, also, when you know your score is about to go down, what you want to do is freeze the 3 bureaus. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, so that because each month the banks are doing soft pulls on you, that's where they can see, obviously the bank can see what balances you have with them.
Right.
But when they start seeing your score drop or other bank balances popping up, they get scared. And then they're like, ooh, this is terrifying. Like, we got to cut our bets.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Well, that's what happened. And I understand why it happened.
Yep.
It was just like, Mr.
Trump, unfortunate.
I was like, you're right. Like, that was But that was my immediate response.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
I'm
right.
not doing it. Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do?
Yep.
So yeah, it's funny you talk about the rules. Now, the other thing, so belief system, I want to hit into this because, like finances aren't necessarily, taught, right?
For sure.
And again, a lot of our listeners are very well educated as far as finances, and
Yes.
business and this and that, right? If you're listening to the show, right, it's because you care about this world. You're not
Yes.
just
Thank God.
someone that went through a public schooling system with no financial information.
Yes.
So what are some of the biggest belief system, the myths that you've seen for people that have gone through your program?
Ooh, man. So many myths, honestly. Like we've had a ton of people think that you got to pay interest to be able to boost up your scores.
Mm-hmm.
Or what other myths? That they should only have, what we grew up with. You should only have 1 or 2 credit cards and maybe a third one for an emergency.
Yeah.
When in fact, they actually want to see you have 21 plus total accounts.
Mm-hmm.
They want mixed use. So not just all credit cards, retail cards, personal loans, auto loans, mortgages, student loans, et cetera.
Mhm.
But it's like they want to see that you can manage multiple different accounts, 21 in fact,
Mm-hmm.
And so there's tons of myths out there that it breaks my heart because people don't know the true rules and they don't know how to fit within the box of lending to these banks.
Mm-hmm.
So when they apply and they're just scratching their head like, why am I getting denied? Or why am I getting these low limits? Right? Or how do I actually get these cards liquid into cash? It's just because the rules they don't know. So then you end up hating the bank
All right.
and then thinking, I'll just pay cash for everything. When really you're missing out on a huge opportunity of learning how to use what I always call OBM.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of OPM, other people's money. Like when you borrow money from grandma or like Uncle John, and then you got to see them at Thanksgiving and it's awkward, or you're losing sleep over it because it's their retirement money.
Yeah.
Like you can use other banks' money
Right.
and just flip the script on them. Because right now, like you and I, all of us out here, all the listeners, we put all of our money in the banks. You just mentioned you have 600,000-700,000 in the past, so like 800,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
Just sitting there
Doing nothing.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
So how much are you going to pay it on that?
I mean, it was business, so not very much.
Yeah. So usually, 0.001% if we're lucky, right?
Yeah.
But even if you have it in a money marketing liquid account that you can move around, 4.5%?
Yeah.
If we're lucky,
Mhm.
right? With that being said, though, the banks are like, we give all of our money to them basically at nothing. They lend it back out to us 9 times over
Mhm.
on personal loans, auto loans, mortgages, business loans, et cetera, right? 9 times over. And they're averaging anywhere from 500 to 3,000% off of that money.
Right.
It's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
500 to 3,000%.
Yeah.
And so it's literally just like success leaves clues, money leaves a trail. Just like follow the script of what the banks are doing and flip it.
Yeah.
Because we can get introductory funding from these banks and they can give it to you anywhere from 6 months to 24 months, on average 18, 0%. If you don't need to use it, you don't need to feel that stress of using it. But trust me when I tell you, when you actually know how to get it,
Mhm.
and every 6 months, it gives you opportunity to start seeing the opportunity and capitalize off of it. If you can't make money off of 0%, there's a whole different, it's a whole different conversation.
So I want to hit something you mentioned, right? The 9 to 1, like they can lend it 9 times.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe the term is velocity. Right.
Yep.
So I was under the same impression too. It was 9 to 1. Right. And then I invested in a bank.
Yeah.
Right. And when we invested in the bank, I go to the meetings and I was like, okay, so we have this much money cash on hand and here's how much we're lending. And in my mind, I just kept thinking like, that's not what I've heard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I just this crazy libertarian reading about the Federal Reserve and all this other stuff? And like that whole deal, like velocity of banking, was it all a myth? Right? That's what I kept thinking.
Sure.
Right. And then in our last meeting, we're like, okay, we're getting close to the point where we're hit the threshold where now we can lend it 10 times.
Yeah.
So I thought it was 9, so it's actually 10. But I was like, oh,
crazy.
So wait, so if we have $1 million in the bank,
Yeah.
we can lend 10 million. Like, yeah, it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Right, I'm glad I'm in this business.
Yeah. There's some banks out there that can even push it even further. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when you're hooked up with Congress, you can do just about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not go down there, but
you're
yes.
hooked up with Congress. You get to do
You make your own rules.
Apply.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Most banks.
Yeah, most banks
That's what I've learned is 10
have a
to 1.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think they just, like, for the Federal Reserve, I think they just went to like unlimited for a period of time. I think they put the limits back on, but when things were crazy with COVID, they just took
They just take it off. Like, well, wild, wild west, baby. Yeah.
And
It's crazy
how
though,
did we get
isn't it?
inflation? That's weird. It's weird that we had inflation.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's talk about then tying back to buying real estate.
Sure.
So you're saying that following a system correctly,
Yep.
we can get up to $500,000, not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Up to,
Yep.
right, in a 6-month period.
Common to see 2, 3, 4, 500,000. If you do it right, like you're gonna make the most out of it.
And then I can do it again
Yeah.
in 6 months.
6 months.
And I can do it again in another 6 months.
Yep. Per person.
So I can have, over the course of over a year,
Yep.
as much as
Yep.
$1 million at 0%.
Yep. Now, not all of it's going to be 0%. You have options with that because you can get loans as well, and and they're not going to be 0%. But you can definitely get 300,000-400,000 in 0%.
So then, this is why you preach other banks' money
Yes.
versus other people's money.
Yes.
Okay.
It gives you, and don't get me wrong, I love helping out mom and pops too, because it just feels good. But it's a very big, I wouldn't say burden, but it's a responsibility that most people out there, they don't take it serious enough, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I borrow money from you
Yeah.
and I do a deal and the deal goes bad,
Yeah.
I feel bad. I'm going to find a way to pay you back.
That's what I'm saying.
If I borrow money from Chase Bank and, man, that deal blew, I was like, Chase, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But you also, if we teach you how to fix credit too, and you're not like crippled from it,
Yeah.
and they're writing it off on taxes anyway.
So I'm saying, like, Chase, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Like, JP.
Yeah. My bad. That's on me.
I'll get you on the next one.
Yeah, I'll get you on the next one.
Yeah.
But there's just ways to do it properly, is what I would say. And so it brings a lot more freedom, and like it feels better to learn how to just use credit,
Right. So,
and in America here, they just give so much.
right.
You just need to know how to talk to them. We're the only country in the world that they give like this, like an abundance.
Right.
Yeah.
So then let's say I worked with you now. It's been over a year.
Yeah.
So going back to the topic of like buying real estate.
Yeah.
Using credit cards.
Yep.
So what is the mechanism now to access capital? Because you're saying like there's a way to, you're saying cash balance transfer or?
Yeah. I always recommend in this order, call up your banks first, call the number on the bank of the credit card, ask them, hey, is there a promotional rate, balance transfer, cash advance that I can just get it liquid into my bank account, and make sure you have a bank account with them, the relationship. And if they say yes, great, just make sure you're not paying an arm and a leg, mafia rates. Don't do that. 20, 30%, no good. I don't give permission for that.
Yeah.
So make sure it's a favorable term, ideally 0%. And if there is a flat fee, make sure it's low. Otherwise, there's other online platforms that we mentioned earlier, definitely are a reliable source that you could utilize, right? Such as like Plastic, Milo, Zelle Money. You could do Bill Pay, or Bill.com. There's a bunch of different resources, right? And then lastly, we also have a service where for our members, we help liquidate some of their funds. Just easy, convenient through Merchant to be able to wire them the funds back in 7 days.
Yeah.
It's just super simple. They don't need to do anything. It's confidence. It's bold. It's like just good, So that's an option as well.
So step one is create a banking relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. And then you have a webinar coming up.
Yeah.
What's the webinar?
So we do weekly webinars where we totally free, totally live, where we just break down all the myths and we show people what is possible. I share my testimony. I share other people's, some of our other members' testimonies. We've helped out over 3,700 members to date. And And yeah, incredible resources. We show them the rules to the game, the 45 different metrics, so they know how to play it. And then yeah, once a month we do a virtual event, because I just think it's so important. And what you can learn in an hour versus what you can learn in a 3 full day at the comfort of your home. As long as you're like, as you treat it as if you're live in person, you know, you can have a collared shirt on and you can keep your boxers on underneath or whatever.
Do the Kevin O'Leary thing.
Yeah, you can do your thing. You know, you can be relaxing, but show up to like really play full out. People get the most out of it. It's very fulfilling. We just had our last one this past weekend, and it was incredible. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, getting access to capital, like that's one of the greatest challenges, you know, when early on, or even, you know, in the middle right now, like you got a couple of floats that might have gone sideways. So right now things are taking a little longer to sell.
Sure.
Getting access to capital will be tremendously helpful. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
So going back to, you know, with everything you got going on right now, you got your real estate in San Diego.
Yep.
More clarity because you don't have your real estate in Ohio.
Yeah.
You get your credit situation figured out.
Yep.
How is your life different today? I mean, probably it's most for you. How is your life different today than before you started real estate?
It's elevated in such a wild way that I can't even imagine. Like looking back, like to my 18-year-old self, it's like, man, like you have no idea. It's just so wild to even think that this is possible at this point. Yeah, like we set up Credit Counsel Elite as a for-purpose business, so anywhere from 12 to 18% of gross income from the top, which is a lot. It goes to nonprofits that we believe in. We've been helping out a lot of people. We have a team of 29 employees right now. It's like, that's a headache all by itself, but great culture. So it's like, we're all doing good. Like everybody's moving the boat forward. Just relying on our mentors. Like we have several just incredible mentors that have really changed the game for me in many ways. And yeah, it's kind of like wealth tools. Like we have a family office now and all these other things to be able to start positioning ourselves to save the most, make the most, set our kids up for generational wealth and infinite banking. We have all these things dialed in that it feels really good knowing that, you know, I'm still 35 and just getting, you know, we're just getting started. It feels like,
right.
You know,
any particular mentor you want to shout out?
Yeah. Kent Clothier has been like the one.
Yeah.
Kent Clothier. I've done one-on-one with him for the last several years. And I don't know. It's just like for me, he's really good at identifying problems when you don't know it, and also getting great solution, and also just being like the raw. Like that's with my personality type. I can't just have like a little like I need like, hey, you're an idiot. Don't do this. You know, it's like
he'll shake you
up, and you don't want to disappoint.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste time, and I want to move quick.
Yeah.
And so it just resonates with me. He's been able to help us out tremendously and like get us from what we thought was a company to like, man, you realize now it's like that was not a company. That was a ultimate hustler for sure.
Yeah.
To realizing like, man, we got KPIs, we got a team working. And if I went away for a full month or two, like, which we plan on doing soon, business is still going to be afloat. We're still going to be serving tons of people. If I die tomorrow, the team knows what to do. The mission will keep going on. Yeah. We'll still be helping people. And I love that.
Kent's got an incredible gift.
He does.
To basically look past everything and sees the exact problem.
Yeah. Quickly,
right? Like no.
Yeah.
Forget all that.
Shut up. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
No. Like this.
Yeah.
Right? It's incredible because I've seen him do it over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, all right, here's the problem.
Yep.
Like, how did you know that was the problem? Like, we haven't even talked about that part yet.
Yeah.
Right? He's got an incredible gift for discernment.
For sure. It's incredible. Yeah. And I love that.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic.
He's helped me like literally build my business, I feel like, you know.
It's good that you guys are neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't know how far apart you guys live.
It was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just moved up to Carlsbad, so a little bit further. I was in Old Town, but yeah.
And then what do you want to be remembered for?
That's a great question. I think I haven't ever given this too much thought. I don't really care to be remembered. I'm an introvert naturally. You know, I'm really passionate about this credit stuff. I really am, because it's changed my life completely. You know, we have 14 million in real estate assets. We collect 50,000 a month, whether I wake up or not, and we have millions of dollars in credit and favorable terms and conditions. And if I want more, I know how to get it.
Yeah.
And so that brings a lot of freedom. And I think a lot of people out there, they're chasing not just financial freedom, but, you know, time freedom as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think how much that's blessed me, it's such a disservice if I don't share that with the world. So it's been very, very fulfilling to see other people start connecting the dots and have the aha moments and start experiencing like similarities.
Right.
That feels really, really good. So I would love to be known for like helping more leaders experience the same thing, and then them teaching more people, because I'm only one person, you know?
Right.
Like, how many people can I really help out? I don't know.
Sure.
But that would be cool to just see like that ripple effect of more leaders being inspired to do the same.
I mean, you could be the Dave Ramsey of credit.
Yeah.
Right.
Slightly different. Same, but slightly different.
Yeah. Like, he's the no credit.
Yeah. And
No debt.
not to bash on Dave Ramsey. There is definitely an avatar for him, you know.
Just not ours.
Just not ours.
Right.
not business owners, really.
So like he can do the no
So
debt
true.
thing.
Yeah.
And you can do like, here's how to build wealth using credit.
Yeah. Yeah. We still need to know budget 101, and don't be stupid. I do not give permission to buy the $20,000 Gucci sweatshirt or buy the Lamborghini.
Right.
But buy the asset that pays you dividends and makes the profits to pay for the Lamborghini if you want. Do whatever. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great. What is your superpower?
Superpower? I feel like reading body language and being able to hold our, I don't know. I guess like I would say probably on the credit side, that's like credit specialist is what a lot of people have called me in the past. So I've been able to geek out on this stuff and find little things that people just don't know and are aware of.
But the body language thing probably is huge.
Yeah.
Helped you a lot in, you know, all the different ventures.
It's helped me out in so many different areas. Or like I can nudge like somebody that's in a crowd with me of like, hey, like you're not reading the room right. And they just don't know how to like, you know, there's one person there that like we need to ask certain questions or like help them in a different way or like support them or something, because reading the body language and other people aren't connecting the dots. It's like, let me help out here.
It is kind of funny. The power of body language. The people that are blind to it, it's like, it's so unfortunate.
It is. Yeah.
Or it's like, you have no idea what's happening here. You did not.
You're blind to this. Yeah. You're not reading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a different world right now.
So given your journey.
Yeah.
Any regrets?
No, I'm not somebody that lives with regret. I'm grateful for every step of the way that took me to where I'm at. I definitely took a lot of bumps and bruises and like headache along the way and pain, like a lot of pain and, you know, depression and all these other things that it's like, man, I definitely took the hard way.
A very adventurous route.
Yeah, I took a venturous route, a rocky road for sure. But I'm grateful for all of it. It just aligns with my personality. Again, if I would have taken anything mediocre or something like that, it who knows? I could have found myself on that road at a later age. Like, I'm glad that I did it at a young age and got things corrected. And now, like I said, 35, we're at this point in life. I feel like life's just getting be like going. Yeah. Feels good.
We definitely had a spicy and flavorful life.
Yes. Yeah. Spicy and flavorful.
Is there a book you've gifted more than any other?
A book that I would recommend?
That you've gifted.
Oh, that I've gifted? So we have a book, Action Driven, that I've gifted a bunch in the past. But
What's it about?
it's about taking action. It's just about like moving forward. Don't overcomplicate. Don't overthink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather fail forward than not.
Right.
Yeah. So that was our first book that we came out with. Yeah, I don't have like a particular, the typical, how I got excited about real estate was through like Robert Kiyosaki stuff, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the typical stuff. There's some infinite banking books that are really good. Really into the Bible right now. There's some good stories in there that you can pull apart that are so relevant in today's day and age, like living, breathing. It's wild stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what is the best way for them to get a hold of you?
IG is probably the best, like Brandon Elliott Investments or Credit Counsel Elite on Instagram. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I don't think should I give my number on this?
You don't have to. Actually, one of the other things you brought it up earlier was creditcounselelite.com/start.
Yeah, that's going to be a great platform. If you go to that, there's a free training that we can give to anybody on that, like our live webinars, or even access to our 3-day virtual event, which our next one's coming up September 5th, 6th, and 7th that weekend.
Yeah.
So that'll be great.
Is there another weekend after that?
Yeah, every month.
Every month.
Every month. So beginning of the month, the first weekend.
Got it.
Yeah.
So creditcounselelite.com/start.
Yes.
What are some last thoughts you'd like to leave all the listeners with?
There's ways to get creative to start getting yourself out of debt if you're in debt right now. When there's a will, there's a way. I've always been a big advocate of that. When there's a will, there's a way. So keep a solid, positive mindset and start focusing on, if you have goals and you're like a big visionary person, a big dreamer, we got to get dialed in on the finance part and realize this is a foundation that's going to set up everything else for success.
Yeah.
So dial that stuff in. You can get massive amounts. I mean, hundreds of thousands from banks.
All right. There you go.
Powerful.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.
See you guys.
Shout out to Steve Train. Jump on the Steve Train. Disruptors.